It's no wonder Kash Patel had to swoop in there and take the cameras from inside of the hospital. We were wondering why. Well, this very clearly explains why, because the story is so fantastical. There's no way in hell the FBI could have allowed us to see what went down in that hospital.
Not only was the area where Charlie Kirk was critically injured reportedly excavated within days of the incident, but the vehicle that transported him to the hospital was also reportedly cleaned and sold in less than 48 hours. Those developments quickly fueled online discussion. According to various public claims, some recordings from that day were either removed, lost, or transferred after the incident. Among the recordings frequently mentioned is surveillance footage from the regional hospital where Charlie was taken. According to public reports, that footage is no longer available. The conversation becomes even more complicated when people connect it to the SD card from the camera inside the tent where the incident took place. Andrew Colvert has publicly stated that all available evidence was turned over to the FBI. However, others have questioned whether every item followed the same path.
Safety team is here. I just heard them say the active Charlie Kirk has been Charlie Kirk got is what the security detail just said.
These claims remain unverified, but they continue to circulate online. One widely shared post claimed that minutes after the incident, someone removed what appeared to be an SD card from an overhead camera before passing it to another individual nearby, who then walked away with it. The authenticity and interpretation of that footage have been heavily debated. Candace Owens later said on her show that she was able to obtain footage connected to the removed SD card because she knew someone who had previously worked with the individual involved in removing it. Questions have also continued to surround the missing hospital surveillance footage. Some online commentators have wondered why it is unavailable. Several explanations have been suggested. One possibility discussed online is that investigators collected the footage as part of the official investigation. Others have proposed different theories, although none have been publicly confirmed. The absence of the recording has continued to fuel speculation because some believe it could clarify details surrounding Charlie Kirk's arrival at the emergency department. According to Brian Harple's public account, after arriving at the hospital, they located a gurney near the hallway and placed Charlie on it. He said he then wheeled Charlie into a treatment room and removed his shirt so medical staff would have access to his chest. Brian explained that he relayed Charlie's medical information to hospital staff before stepping outside the room to wait.
I'm going to reach out and I'm going to say, hey, what's up with this? Where is this footage? Why did you do this? What were you doing up there on the rocks? What's up? Like, this is not the first thing that I would do if I had just witnessed Charlie Kirk being shot. And I'll say this right now, he was extremely forthcoming. Like, as soon as I reached out, I just sent a text because I still had his number, and he was extremely forthcoming, immediately got onto the phone. And first and foremost, I should say, obviously, he's seeing all of these clips going viral, and he is fearful for his family. He doesn't have any security, and people are looking, you know?
Here is how he described those moments. Following those comments, several people online who identified themselves as experienced medical professionals questioned whether that sequence matched standard emergency procedures. One commenter, claiming to be a former emergency room nurse with 8 years of experience, wrote that the description did not align with what they had seen in trauma care. According to the commenter, hospital staff would normally take immediate control of the patient upon arrival, with anyone accompanying the patient asked to step aside while treatment began. Another commenter, who said they had worked in hospitals for 37 years, expressed a similar opinion, stating that someone outside the trauma team would generally not be involved in removing clothing or assisting with treatment once the patient entered the emergency department. These comments reflect personal opinions shared online and have not been independently verified. And finally, another commenter who identified themselves as a nurse with more than 2 decades of hospital experience shared that
we get to the hospital Actually, we make it to the hospital through the traffic. We've got full wound pack in. We get out and we carry in to the door. Well, once we make it into the door, we see a gurney on the left-hand side. We put him on a gurney, and then I wheel him into a room. I start giving the patient information to the staff there. I end up getting on top of him and cutting the shirt that he had on off, that white Freedom shirt. And so I cut it off so they could get to him so that...
Based on their background, Brian Harple's description of the events did not match what they would typically expect to see during an emergency trauma response. That opinion quickly joined a growing number of similar reactions from individuals claiming experience in emergency medicine, all questioning whether the sequence of events unfolded exactly as it has been publicly described. Much of the discussion centers on the fact that Brian Harple's account appears to differ from statements made by Frank Turek. According to Frank Turek, CPR was performed on Charlie during the drive to the hospital. Brian Harple, however, described those moments differently, saying his primary focus was controlling Charlie's injuries with gauze rather than performing CPR while en route. Those two descriptions have become a major talking point because many people believe they are difficult to reconcile. Some viewers have argued that both events could have happened at different moments during the drive, while others believe the accounts leave important details unanswered. At this point, there has been no official public explanation addressing the differences between those statements, leaving room for continued discussion.
I didn't articulate this to them, but I wanted to get that stuff off so they could put a defibrillator on him. And so, and then started talking about pushing drugs. And so I was back and forth with them on drugs and defibrillator. And so then, once you get that shirt cut off and moved out of the way, there's enough of medical professionals in there. And so I just want to get out of their way. And so, got out of their way and walked out of the room and stood outside the room and held guard on the outside door of the room so nobody else could come in there.
Medical professionals commenting online have also weighed in on whether CPR could realistically have been performed inside the moving vehicle under those circumstances. Several individuals claiming emergency medical experience have suggested that attempting effective chest compressions inside a moving SUV would be extremely challenging because of the limited space, constant movement, and positioning of everyone inside the vehicle. Others have pointed out that emergency situations are often chaotic, making it difficult to judge exactly what occurred without complete documentation. Because of those differing viewpoints, the conversation has expanded well beyond the original accounts. Instead of focusing on one specific detail, many people are now examining the overall timeline, comparing interviews, public statements, and available footage in an effort to better understand how everything unfolded from the moment of the incident through Charlie's arrival at the hospital. Candace Owens has also addressed these inconsistencies on her program.
And he cut his shirt off. That's the most crucial part. He jumped on top of him. He grabbed the gurney. He picked the room. Everyone was standing around going, wow, we'll just wait until he tells us there's enough of us. Because this guy's got it. This guy's really, really got it. Why don't we just perform surgery? What are we doing here?
She suggested that the differing descriptions may have been intended to explain why several individuals later changed into hospital scrubs. That interpretation reflects her personal opinion and has not been confirmed by investigators or any official source, but it has become one of the more widely discussed theories surrounding the case. From there, online investigators began exploring additional possibilities related to the physical evidence. Numerous theories have circulated regarding Charlie's equipment, clothing, and personal belongings. Among the most discussed is speculation involving his wireless microphone. Supporters of that theory believe it deserves closer examination, while critics argue that no publicly available evidence has verified those claims. As those discussions spread across social media, independent commentators started comparing photographs, video clips, and witness statements in search of details that might either support or contradict the various theories being shared online. Despite the extensive analysis, no official findings have confirmed the conclusions being promoted by internet investigators. Attention has also remained focused on what happened to several items connected to the incident. Questions continue to circulate regarding Charlie's clothing, phone, microphone, and other belongings. Some commentators believe those items could have helped answer lingering questions.
Frank Turk is in the back seat. You're not conducting CPR in this environment. I cannot stress enough that CPR could not have been conducted in that car. Brian is telling the truth twice when he says that. He focused on the bleeding, he says. So why is there this disconnect? Why not just simply say, if you're Frank Turek, yeah, I was just praying in the back? I'm going to tell you what I think.
While others note that the public does not have access to the full investigative record and therefore cannot determine how every piece of evidence was handled. Another topic that continues to generate debate is the vehicle used to transport Charlie to the hospital. Reports that it was cleaned and later sold have fueled speculation among online observers, who argue that such actions deserve additional explanation. Others caution that without official documentation establishing the exact timeline and circumstances, it is difficult to draw meaningful conclusions from those reports alone. The location where the incident occurred has also received significant attention. Changes made to the area shortly afterward have led some internet commentators to question whether those decisions affected the availability of physical evidence. Others believe the work may have been routine or unrelated to the investigation. At this stage, no public information has definitively established a connection between those changes and the official case. Candace Owens has continued discussing her own theory involving Charlie's wireless microphone over multiple episodes. She has pointed to various observations that she believes deserve closer examination and has argued that certain details have not received enough attention. While those arguments have attracted considerable interest online, they remain interpretations rather than confirmed findings.
The CPR story, which cannot be true, and which Brian Harpel says is not true, was necessary because Frank needed an excuse for why he changed into hospital scrubs when he got to the hospital. Remember, Frank did not help carry Charlie into the back of the car. He did not run over to Charlie when Charlie got hit. He never traverses over Charlie's body or near the men that were holding him to get into the car. Do not forget, Frank climbed into the SUV from the trunk. He didn't even have to go through, he climbed in through the trunk cleanly.
More recently, some online investigators have highlighted what they believe is a recognizable marking visible on debris shown in photographs from inside the SUV. According to those individuals, the marking resembles a logo commonly found on electronic equipment. Others disagree with that interpretation, arguing that the available images are too limited to support a reliable conclusion. Without independent forensic analysis or official confirmation, those observations remain part of the broader online debate. The missing hospital surveillance footage has become another major point of discussion. Because the recording is reportedly unavailable, numerous theories have emerged attempting to explain why. Some people believe investigators may have collected it as part of the official investigation. Others have suggested administrative reasons, while some online commentators have proposed more controversial explanations. None of those possibilities have been publicly confirmed, and the reason the footage is unavailable remains unclear based on the information currently available.
Up that image and rotate it as well and put it side by side with the Rode Mike's UBS icon. So that really is something I do feel like this is what we have to do. We have to get really molecular to close this case. I do believe firmly that it was Charlie's Rode mic bits that were shattered all over the car floor.
The absence of that recording has only encouraged further speculation because many people believe it could help clarify the timeline surrounding Charlie's arrival at the hospital. Without access to the footage, however, much of the discussion has been driven by personal interpretations rather than verifiable evidence. Online conversations have also included claims involving Charlie Kirk and her actions after the incident. Numerous allegations have circulated across social media, but many remain unsupported by publicly verified evidence. As with many high-profile cases, separating confirmed information from online speculation has become increasingly difficult as more theories continue to spread. Some critics argue that Erica has accepted the publicly known narrative surrounding the incident, while others believe she has simply chosen not to engage with ongoing speculation. Because there has been no official confirmation supporting many of the claims circulating online, those competing interpretations remain matters of opinion rather than established fact. The result is a case that continues to divide public opinion.
You believe that Tyler Robinson your husband?
Yes, I do.
Why do you think it is so hard for so many people to believe that reality?
Because it's too simple. Again, everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not. I've seen the autopsy report. I've seen our case pulled together. I've been in constant contact with our lawyers, the prosecuting team. I've seen it all.
On one side are those who believe the available information leaves too many unanswered questions. On the other are those who caution against drawing conclusions before additional verified evidence becomes available. Both perspectives continue to fuel one of the most active discussions surrounding the incident. Regardless of where people stand, there is little doubt that interest in the case remains strong. Every new interview, public statement, photograph, or document is carefully examined by thousands of viewers searching for details they believe may help explain the events of that day. Whether those efforts ultimately uncover new information or simply generate additional debate remains to be seen. For now, many of the biggest questions remain unresolved in the public eye. Differences between witness accounts, missing recordings, disputed timelines, and competing interpretations continue to encourage discussion across social media and independent investigative communities. Until more verified information becomes available, much of that conversation will likely continue to rely on publicly available statements and personal analysis rather than confirmed conclusions. We'd like to hear what you think. After looking at everything discussed in this video, do you believe there are still major questions that deserve clearer answers, or do you think the publicly available information already provides the full picture? Share your thoughts and your own analysis in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on future discussions, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.